All right, so I had a lot of questions about the candy board and the moisture boxes or quilt box and how I use them or how they should be used. So I decided I'd do a video real quick, kind of show you guys how I use them. The moisture box or quilt box, I make these pretty quick with just mostly scrap wood that I have laying around. Center bracing with the rim on the bottom of it, little 3/4 inch rim, and that prevents the sawdust from pushing the screen down and it sagging down into the hive body. And then on the sides of it I have some holes that are drilled at an angle to allow some of the excess moisture to kind of come out and allow the whatever media or material you have in here to go ahead and dry out as much as it can. This one's obviously not been painted yet, but we will paint them just because they last longer that way. And then as far as the candy board goes, when the candy's been poured into the board, what I'll do is I do a no-cook candy board, so really thick sugar. It's all pressed into here. I don't put any newspaper in it because anything that they don't use in winter, I can reuse in the spring to feed them. It's got an upper entrance here, and this is going to help the bees. If the bottom entrance gets plugged, this is going to allow them to have a way to still get out of the hive, as well as providing some extra ventilation, taking out the moisture. So the great thing about this is when it does have the actual sugar candy in it, it's going to also absorb some of the moisture. So, and as it absorbs moisture, the bees are going to consume it, and yeah, basically that's what they do. Anyways, so I put this right on top of the hive. I will put some small pieces of wood here, depending on how much space you have or what size your bee space is on the top. You may use something different. I use a 1/4 inch shim, and I'll just lay 2 1/4 inch shims down here, pop this right on the top. That prevents the candy board from sagging down and kind of pressing against the bees. It also prevents me from smashing bees when I'm installing these. After that, I'll take this, pop this right on the top, fill it up with wood shavings. I like to use wood chips or wood shavings that are dust free. That way there's not going to be a bunch of dust going into the hive. Some people will use canvas or burlap or a bunch of different stuff, but wood chip seems to be the best for me. It works really well. These worked really well last year, so I'm going to go ahead and do them again this year. And then with regards to the top, had a lot of people that asked me about the top. If you have inner covers, you could pop the inner cover on the top like this, and then of course you want to make sure that this notch, if you have notched ones, is facing upwards. That way it doesn't allow other things an entrance to get into your hive. And again, it's going to provide more ventilation, so the air is going to come up, condense on this, and any excess is going to condense on your top cover. This is a telescoping top cover. I typically don't use these. I like to use migratory covers. They seem to work better for me, and because I'm moving hives quite frequently, it works better. They fit better on a pallet. Anyways, use whatever you have, but put that down, and then as you can see, this is going to block that entrance there, but it's still going to allow a little bit of draft ventilation. Some people will prop these boxes up. I don't prop them up, and the reason for that is because the bottom of this has wire stapled to it, and that kind of already provides a small gap that the bees will propolize as they see fit. But that's basically it in a nutshell. These are the type of covers that I run. They fit better on a pallet, so just a migratory cover works really well for me. Again, made out of scrap wood, not expensive, not hard to make, so I'll use these. And then instead of running this telescoping cover, I'll use this, and I either will or won't use the inner cover. It really honestly, it depends. If I have them laying around and they're there when I'm doing it, then I'll put the inner covers on. If I don't have the inner covers, I really don't worry about it, because these moisture boxes really seem to do exactly what I want them to do. And the only other big thing that I do is during the winter, I will reduce all my entrances and I will pop mouse guards in. So once you have the mouse guards in, you won't have to worry about any critters getting in there and making a home in your hive.